Hey guys, it's your boy Nico. I'm just back at it here again with another troll pasta, and this time we're doing Hitler.exe. I'm mainly doing this to tide you over until the Aria of Sorrow review. Um, and I would give you a warning, but, well, that's kind of in the name. Anyway, this one's really special to me. Also found it on Some Ordinary Gamers. It was the first troll pasta I actually read too. Well, heard. And I had a lot of fun, and I've listened to this story over and over again on Some Ordinary Gamers. And it's just provided me with like hours of entertainment. So, and since I just like doing this stupid shit, we're going right into it. Anyway, you heard the title, and don't worry, it only gets worse from here. I'm a total Adolf Hitler fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer dictators, but I don't mind the classics. I don't think I've ever seen glitchy or hacked dictators before, though I don't want to, after the experience I had. Hitler. Hitler in his final form. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Hitler Unleashed. I liked how you get to explore Nazi Germany in it. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Stalin. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 20 billion seconds. I know that because I recognized his handwriting. Though what was weird is how it smelled. It looked how the color blue tastes, badly written and scratchy, and somewhat difficult to fap to. As if Stalin was having a hard time writing it down, whilst Gaddafi hits him on the head with a trout, and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote it. Toff. I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Toff, destroy this Azula Forsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too much for me. Destroy the disc, and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Sincerely, Stalin. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Stalin is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 20 seconds, I didn't do what he asked him. I don't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Girl, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc, and it looks like any other ordinary computer CDR floppy disk, except it had black marker written on it that said Hitler.exe, and it was much unlike Stalin or Gaddafi's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from somewhere else, like a porn shop or eBay. When I saw Hitler on the writing of the CD, I was actually aroused and wanted to play it, since I am a big Hitler fan. I went up to my room and turned on the book and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Hitler game. I was like, awesome, because I said earlier I liked the classics, yet I didn't have the first game. This story makes no sense. Then again, I'm a 12-year-old blind girl. How the fuck can I even see all this? Anyways, the first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start. There was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider totally and utterly sexy beyond any form of comprehension. Seriously. Imagine the sexiest thing you've ever saw. I can guarantee that this was 10,001 times sexier than that before cutting to turquoise. I remember what the image looked like in the split second before the game cut to turquoise. The sky had darkened, then brightened, then darkened again, but not quite as much as before. The title swastika was cum-soaked and upside down. The Fagel 1941 was instead Fagel 69, and the water had turned white, like semen, except it looked super ultra mega hyper realistic. But the sexiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Hitler. His eyes were pitch turquoise and bleeding white, with two glowing pink dots staring right in me. And his mustache had stretched wider, up to the edge of his face. I was rather intoxicated about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a troll and remembered about it. After it cut to turquoise, it stayed like that for about 10 years or so. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Hitler, the Hitler 3 popped up. And I was like, WTF? Zomj 1111111111. What's this doing in the first Hitler game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark cloudy sky of the bad North Korea level from Hitler's CD. And there were only 3 save files. The music was the creepy Lavender Town music from Pokemon, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. This creepypasta has every cliché in the book, so why not? And the image for the save file was what you see in the preview of the level you're on, is just Technicolor static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Joseph Goebbels, Hermann Fegelen, and to my surprise, Kim Jong-un. Now, I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Kim Jong-un in a classic Hitler game? For crying out loud! That's when I realized that this wasn't just a sexy game. It was the sexiest game alive. Yeah, it definitely looked sexy. I was really creepy. But as a smart, retard gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a sexy game, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling I had, I picked file 1 and chose Goebbels. And when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 500,000 centuries, and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like the Ozai guy from Firelord Ozai. Hold on. And I heard an pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Ozai guy from Firelord Ozai Adventure 2012, the Rape Fantasy Extreme Cream Feed Azula Tai Li and Mai! Before cutting to every color in the universe at the same time. The screen stayed transparent for about 10 nanoseconds or more. Then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were 50 shades of gray, and the text showed only Hell Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Goebbels in the green hail zone from Hitler 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Goebbels start running like you would in any other classic Hitler games. What was odd is that Goebbels was running along the level. There was no ground. And a few seals for 5 minutes. Goebbels was breaking the laws of physics. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into a slow, deep tones, very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was, and it was one of the Nazi soldiers lying dead on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Goebbels and a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead Nazis as Gobbles moved past them, looking more and more worried. As the music lowers, and he moves past more dead Nazis. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather sexy ways. A soldier was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his balls hanging out. One on all fours with his limbs torn off and shoved in his anus. And worst of all, one soldier had his clothes taken off and put back on inside out. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw the massacre, and apparently so did Gobbles. After a few more seconds, there were more Nazis, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Gobbles to continue. 'Cause frick him! After a minute passed, after the music stopped, Gobbles was running up a wall that wasn't there and looking hyper-real. What? Gobbles was running up a wall that wasn't there and looking hyper-realistic, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Hitler was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Gobbles. With his eyes closed, Gobbles looked happy to see Hitler. But then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Hitler wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Gobbles' presence. Gobbles walked slowly toward Hitler, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my pencil to make him move. So this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of being back in the hood as Gobbles walked closer to Hitler to get his attention. I felt that Gobbles was in danger of rape, and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Gobbles was but inches away from Hitler, and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Gobbles to get away from Hitler as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Hitler's eyes open, and they were turquoise, with those pink, glowing dots, just like the title image. Though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned pink and the static sound went off. It stayed pink for about 0.000000000. Not very long, okay? And then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to have sex with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying, "Hide and Rape." This time, I was back in the asshole island from Hitler 3, Erotic Edition, and it looked like everything was on LSD. Gobbles looked as though he was scared out of his little tits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me, as if he wanted to GTFO of the area he was in, as slowly as possible. What? As slowly as impossible. Okay. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Gobbles was actually breaking the three-dimensional rift, trying to tell me to give him tits or GTFO out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow and key as hard as I could and made him run with the swiftest slowness that he could. A pixelated version of the creepy theme when you meet Azula at the strip club as Kim Jong-un from Hitler Adventure 2 was playing, as I made Hitler trek through the desolate forest of anuses raining shit everywhere, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, I heard that creepy noise again. The awful cereal noise, like Rice Krispies after you pour in the milk. Right after 1 second have passed, as I helped Gobbles run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Hitler popping everywhere on the screen, again with those turquoise and pink eyes, while screaming a pixelated Fagelin. The music changed to the ludicrous move bitch, and I see Hitler being behind Gobbles, slowly gaining up on him, flying. Hitler wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Rubber Hitler's flying pose in Hitler's CD, except it was just Hitler, and he had those turquoise and pink eyes again. Only this time, he had the most aroused looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little minister of propaganda as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Gobbles tripped, another cutscene. The music stopped and Hitler vanished. Gobbles laid there and started crying for 15,000 weeks. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. I was so upset that I nearly cut my wrists and contemplated suicide. Poor, poor 16-bit Gobbles. Why? Why? What kind of cruel world do we live in? Everything is just awful. I can't go on. I can't. It's too much. The pain. Oh, the pain. Oh, woe is me. Toff then became an emo and developed a heroin addiction. But then Hitler appeared right in front of Gobbles, and Gobbles smiled in honor. What? Fanta started to come down those turquoise eyes of Hitler's as a pedo grin slowly grew from his face. As he looked down at the horrified minister of propaganda, I could do nothing but watch and fap. It's not actually called fapping if a female is doing it, just so you know. Just in a split second, Hitler lunged at Gobbles right before the scene went pink and sexy music played. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 nanoseconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too sexy. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful Ozai laugh and the cereal noise came with it.